TSF Entertainment.
Yo, welcome back to the TSF Entertainment channel. Retro CG in the building this evening, and we are here to talk about Power Book 3, Raising Kanan Season 4, Episode 409. It's about that time. In the building with me tonight, my brother in arms, Mr. Fresh, Your Highness. What's up, bro?
What's going on, bro? Everything good?
Yeah, everything good. What about you? How was your week?
Long one, but we here now, so that's all that matters.
We here now. Shout out to the chat and all the mothers in the building. Happy Mother's Day weekend to you ladies.
Mother's Day weekend.
All right, so you know what we're here to talk about. First thoughts of the episode. What you think?
Great episode. I gave it a 10, just like I gave the last one.
Yeah, this was a pretty lit episode. I enjoyed it, actually. I really enjoyed it. It set us up for what's getting ready to happen on the season finale. Man, it seems like we wait so long. We wait so long for a new season, and these episodes just fly by, yo. And I'm kind of feeling some kind of way by Star Wars giving us these 40-minute episodes, but I'm hoping that they save it a little extra time for next week so we get a longer episode for the season finale.
Shoot. I'm thinking that joint about to go out with a bang since they done already released the season 5 trailer.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is so crazy. Shout out to the chat. I hope you guys had a great week as well. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and jump on into this thing. All right. Episode synopsis. So the episode was written by Sasha Penn, directed by Ben Siminoff. Again, when you got the showrunner that is writing the episodes, you know you're gonna get a banger with that. Episode synopsis: Kanan, suspicious of Rock's involvement, investigates Krystal's disappearance. Rock faces fallout from Unique's retaliation and Marvin's mistake. Juke revisits her past, and Lou embraces his new path. Lou the Dragon Slayer. Lou the Dragon Slayer. Really? Episode starts off, man. Listen, if y'all not watching our reviews, if y'all not watching our predictions, and if y'all not catching the end of our episodes when we tell you what's going to happen next on the episode, you better start paying attention.
Yeah, you called this one. You called this one for a fact.
Man, we wrote this whole episode down.
We did for the most part. We did for the most part. But you definitely called this one for sure. You called this one.
It's in the writing. Pay attention to the writing. They give us the clues.
I didn't
All
think
right, the episode starts off with, man, poor Krystal, yo. It is crazy. They have done a great job making us invested in Krystal. Actually making us like Krystal, because, you know, we wouldn't see it for Krystal after how she did Juke.
Yep.
But we kind of, you know, she grew on us a little bit. You know, she was a rider for Kanan. She held it down. She was his baby mom, housewife. You know, she was all of that for Kanan. Episode starts off with Krystal locked in a dirty, dingy room on a dirty, dingy mattress. And we found out that she's been held hostage for a couple of days now, maybe about 3 days or so. And they've been drugging her up and, you know, have her locked in the room trying to get some information out of her. When none other than Pop. Damn, Pop. You got to go.
I'm starting to think she the one who took out Fame.
Yeah, you got to go, Pop. Yeah. Like, Pop, you did us dirty right here now. Like, listen, I ain't know y'all was that darn messy. Pop comes in and tries to act like she her friend. Like, oh my God, they got you locked up in here. They doing you like this. Oh, let me get you out of here. I know you got to be hungry. She fixes her a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And she's pretty much saying, listen, you got to tell them what they want to know so we can get you up out of here, you know. She was like, Krystal was like, I've told them everything that I know. I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing about Kanan and Famous or whatever. And she was like, I know, baby, but you got to tell them something so we can get you up out of here or whatever. And I just feel like one bad bitch to another, you know, we can get those answers and get you out of here. All right, let's see. We got a $5 super chat from DeMarcus who says, Pop turned Krystal from prom queen to prom fiend. Pop smoked Krystal just like Rock smoked Scrappy and Howard. Yeah, she did. She did it dirty. Yeah, real dirty. So as she's making the sandwich, you know, she's trying to have a conversation with her and she's listening for those context clues. She's listening for what she's trying to hear from Krystal. And Cub Star, we were wrong about Krystal. We was wrong about you. We was wrong about you. So Krystal lets it out that, listen, I don't know nothing about fame. And Pop was like, listen, he came and asked us about Dirty Cops putting his friend down and the call from the street. And like, what you know about that? She's like, I don't know nothing about that. The only thing he said that is he think his mom has something to do with it. And I told him that his mom didn't have anything to do with it. It's like he blamed everything on Rock. Like everything bad happens to him. And that was what she was waiting for.
Yep.
And I almost feel like she shouldn't have even added that last part to her comment about, I told him that his mom didn't do it. Like maybe she could have got away with saying that, yeah, his mom did it and left it at that, or not said anything at all. But when she said that, that was what Pop was waiting for. Give the girl the sandwich, and the girl take maybe 2 bites out of the sandwich, and she put her down. I'm like, dang, it's crazy. Like just like that, Krystal is gone.
Krystal was gone. Like I said, I expected for her. I thought she was at least gonna make it to 10, and then they was gonna take her out. So it kicking off like this, that caught me off guard. I was like, well, dang, all right, well, we getting right into it.
That's what I was trying to tell Marvin last week. Marvin talking about she go get back to Kanan and tell Kanan what's going on. She ain't gonna make it past the opening credits.
I knew she wasn't gonna get back, but I figured she was probably gonna at least be held hostage till 10.
Yeah,
Sure.
This episode, this scene right here, nothing that we didn't expect. Nothing happened in this episode, in this scene right here that we didn't look for and expect. So you got some detectives that roll up on Lou and B-Rilla at the studio, and they're like, listen, y'all was outside the studio when all this went down. Y'all ain't hear nothing? Y'all ain't seen nothing? Nope. We ain't hear nothing. We ain't seen nothing.
Nope.
And so he got Amani up in there, which I don't even know why he even brought her into this kind of business right here. You know she's shaky already as it is. Like, he's basically trying to use her, as she said. I mean, she wasn't wrong with what she said. He pretty much used her for an alibi. It was like, yo, I got to her place around 11. And she was like, well, I didn't look at a clock. I'm like, Lou, Wig is not going to hold you up in any kind of an alibi. Like, you shouldn't even had her here for this. So they pretty much tell the detectives to beat it. Like, listen, we ain't got nothing for you. And we learned that they recovered the weapons from Kenyatta and Julius, and they linked them ballistics to the home invasion at Lowell's rental property. So he was like, so that got to do with them then. They ain't got nothing to do with me. And then, of course, the detectives remind them of their checkered past and that they don't need to leave town. So Rilla and Lou held it together. He's like, I left when Lou left. Like, we don't know nothing. We ain't seen nothing.
Don't know nothing. We ain't seen nothing.
So what did you think about these first 2 scenes?
Well, like I said, the Krystal joint caught me off guard because, like I said, I was not expecting just off gate for it to pop off like that, especially at the beginning of the episode. I figured, like, after she had told her, like, oh yeah, something about the mom. Of course, I've been telling y'all that all season, but I didn't think she was just gonna get popped at the beginning. I figured she was gonna be held some more till episode 10. This scene right here, that's when it showed me again, for one, like I had been saying, like, she's not a CI, and then 2, like you've been saying all season retro, like she ain't no ride or die, because like she hesitated, and I was like you at first. I was trying to figure. I was like, why Lou even got her there? Like, why they being asked questions by the detectives? But I'm thinking like the detectives just stopped by while they was in there working on something for B-Rilla, and she just happened to be there or whatnot. So, but we knew from the last episode, from that smirk that Lou did after he put Kenyatta and them down, we already knew, like, oh, Lou back. Tear that wig off her old back.
Yo, I agree with you, Cub Star. They did not have to unalive Krystal. I mean, she was on her way out of town, for real. If best, they could have put her on a bus and sent her out of town or something like that. Or like, they ain't have to drop her like that. Innocent, I guess you could say that she was innocent, but Raina was definitely more innocent than Krystal was.
Yeah, definitely.
Krystal kind of, I ain't gonna say she got what she deserved. I'm not gonna say she got what she deserved. I can't say she got what she deserved, but I mean, at the end of the day, you running with a dope boy.
Yeah, exactly.
And the whole situation with Aisha and Kanan and Juke and Butter and all that stuff, like, karma, I guess is what I'm gonna say. But yeah, they could have let her ride. They could have let her get on up out of town. Like that girl wasn't bothering nobody. She didn't know nothing.
Nope. Besides the
I'm
fact
thinking
that
that too, Stephen Juke somehow gonna piece these puzzle pieces together for us because we know Kanan's stupid ass ain't gonna be able to do it.
yeah, but I think she ain't gonna piece. We probably won't see that till like season 5. I don't think by this episode we're gonna see how she pieced it together.
So Kanan and Juke is back at the diner, and Kanan gets a call, or actually he was on the phone, probably with Krystal's mom or no her people down in Delaware, and he learns that Krystal didn't make it. Like they didn't get her off the bus, so they trying to figure out where is Krystal at this point, and why she didn't make it. And Kanan's like, something going on, something ain't right. First Famous, then OC, now Krystal, and Juke's like, listen, all this might not be connected. And of course, Kanan does feel like it's connected. The crazy part about it is the only thing that's really connected is Famous and Krystal.
Yep.
The situation with OC is not connected to Snap and Pop.
No.
But Rock shows up and she's like, hey, Kanan. And he's like, what? You invited her here? And Juke like, that's your mom's. And like, I feel like Juke is trying to get them together in the same room so they can talk it out, because this is a conversation that needed to have happened already. Yeah. And this is a conversation that needed to have. Rock told Kanan she had been calling him about 100 times, and he disrespectfully replies to her and said, yeah, and you saw after I didn't answer the first fucking 100 times. Exactly. What you think I want to talk to you about? I'm like, Rock, slap the shit out of him right there.
Like Marvin kept saying, that boy need a belt. Like, that's why I said, I keep telling y'all, we ain't seen nobody beat up Kanan. That's why he run his mouth the way he do.
And he stay on the wrong. You talking so loud. You talking so loud and wrong. All wrong. Rock, if it rained outside, Rock did it. He stepped in a mud puddle. This Rock fault. Yeah, exactly, Cubs. Like, he stay connected.
Stay connected to wrong dots.
So he asked Rock here, yo, what you heard about Fame? She's like, what I heard about Fame? She's like, I know you don't think I got something to do with that. And she was like, I love Fame. And he's like, yeah, like how you love D-Wiz. And she's like, for the last time, for the umpteenth time, that D-Wiz situation, that's your problem. That's your fault. I had to clean up your mess. And she keep trying to tell him at some point you would think that would click, because I feel like Kanan putting down D-Wiz wasn't just because of the whole corner situation. That he was also dating Davina at the same time. So Kanan had his headspace regarding Buck 20 was all over the place.
Yep.
So that fueled his desire to want to take down Buck 20. And because D-Wiz didn't keep his mouth closed about the work, running around telling everybody about it, he was the one that put down, he was the one who had to take the fall for it. It was either him or you. I don't understand why Kanan don't understand that. It's not like they dropped him because she wanted to unalive his best friend. She had no choice.
She had no choice. Because if I remember correctly, I think Unique said, like, yo, somebody got to answer for this. So if it wasn't D-Wiz, Kanan, it was going to be you. Like, so they didn't have a choice but to put down D-Wiz because of y'all stupidity and hitting Buck 20. Like, but as I've been telling y'all, like,
DeMarcus, are you watching the same show we watching? What do you mean we love justifying Rock? Those are the facts.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't our perception of what we saw. That's exactly what happened.
That's exactly what happened.
That's not justifying her. I'm not saying that she was wrong. What she was supposed to do, let Kanan just be unalive? Like, she was in a rock and a hard place. She had no choice. It's not justification. It's the reality of the situation. I'm not saying that she hadn't done other things to him that were wrong, but this particular situation that he's holding on to is not her fault. That's not justification. That's just facts. That's just 100.
It is what it is.
She tells him at this point, you're okay, then, like, from now on going forward, whatever mess you get yourself into, you get yourself into. I'm not cleaning up your mess anymore. So at this point, you know, she basically tells him, like, listen, I know that you're gonna be mad at me for the rest of your life. I know that you are upset with me or whatever, but that ain't gonna stop me from caring. And, you know, he just leaves all angrily and tell her that ain't nothing good about having you in my life. I'm like, you're gonna regret these words.
Yep.
You're gonna regret these words. You're gonna regret these in the worst way words. So as he storms off, Juke tells him that tells Rock that no, actually Rock tells Juke that I can't win with him. And Juke is like, instead of trying to win with him, you need to be more concerned about losing him.
Yep.
And I think that clicked in Rock's head, coupled with, we forgot the part about Krystal where she told him that Krystal had came by. She was like, the only reason why I came over here was because that girlfriend of yours came by here and told me that you were getting ready to do something stupid like you always do. And she's like, I'm here to try to talk to you about that. And then when Kanan heard her mention Krystal's name, he pretty much was like, well, she didn't get to where she going. She missing. What you know about that? Did you see who she left with? How she came? Rock? No, I ain't looking at that. So you think I got something to do with that too? It's like he blames Rock for everything.
And when we get to it, I ain't gonna jump scenes. When we get to it, just like you say, he blame Rock. And let's like Rock said, like, if I had something to do, you think I would tell you? Like, if I had something to do with Krystal missing, like, I'm telling you, she came to see me. Like, she's the reason that I'm here. Like, if I was gonna do something to Krystal, I wouldn't tell you that she came to see me. But of course, like I said, they've done already put the battery in his back, and like I've been screaming all season. Matter of fact, I'm jumping whatchamacallits. But yeah, it's everything is being blamed on Rock, and it's like, bruh, like, you can't put everything on Rock. A lot of this stuff, just as much as Rock has done her share of stuff, you've done your share of stuff.
Exactly.
So you can't put it all on Rock, bro.
Especially given his current situation. His current situation right now is who he's aligned himself with right now.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't good for him. That's not good for him. Okay, so you got Marvin that leaving that crib or whatever, and what about when Jukebox called Rock about Joyce and Rock ignored Jukebox phone call? What does that got to do with Kanan? And how
that's what I was trying to figure out. And I was trying to figure out I was like, what they got to do with Kanan? Like, that's everybody known Rock and her mama had a tumultuous relationship. Like they never saw eye to eye. So like that's totally different from, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Retro.
It's a bash on Rock. I mean, I get it. It's just like everyone is looking at the situation about the things that Rock has done, but there's no acknowledgement of the things that Kanan has done. So Rock only done these things. I ain't gonna spend more time on this. Anyway, Marvin is getting ready to leave the crib or whatever when Early Tyler run up on him and like, me and my people, we ain't gonna let you get away with what you did to Londale. And Marvin really didn't try to diffuse the situation. He kind of arrogantly was like, yo, I had nothing to do with your people's getting put down. My condolences. And Early Tyler was like, fuck your condolences. Like, I know you had something to do with this. I know you did this. And Marvin basically tell him like, look, if I did, what you gonna do about it?
This was so stupid.
I was like, yes, this was so stupid.
It's so stupid. So stupid.
Is this right here sealing Marvin's fate?
I don't think so.
You don't think Early gonna come for him?
I think Early gonna come for him, but I think like Early ain't got the precise the strategy, nor like he probably got the heart, but I don't think like Marvin been putting out work on that street. Early ain't been doing that, so I think he gonna come for him, but I don't think he gonna be able to accomplish what he's going to. But I felt like this here, and of course, you know, it's the writing, but I felt like here it probably would have been like, just for me looking at it, if them writing like him saying like, hey, I had nothing to do with that, it could have put something in his ear about the Stefano, and them finding out y'all was the one who put down somebody. You need to go on the run. Like, you need to go hiding right now because they looking for y'all, and I'm trying to cover for y'all. He on my ass. I'm trying to cover for y'all. But as soon as he said what he said, what you gonna do? I knew exactly what Early was gonna do. And Rock told him put him down. Rock told him, put him down. Nah, Early not gonna do nothing. He's too scared. I'll put Londale down. And now it's coming back to backfire. This whole season, we just been seeing Marvin making mistake after mistake.
And you really didn't accomplish anything at all.
Nope.
You really didn't accomplish anything at all by putting Londale down and not putting Early Tyler down, because what you didn't want to happen with Londale ended up happening with Early Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
So you wasted the body. You wasted the body at this point. You really didn't accomplish anything at all. So Marvin hops in the whip and he's like, yeah, I didn't think you was gonna do nothing. And I knew right then and there, I said, yeah, Early finna go do something stupid. He finna go do something stupid. Never once did I think that he was going to go run up to Stefano and Tattletale.
Oh, I did. I knew.
I thought he was gonna go to Unique and get Unique to help get at Marvin.
The reason why I didn't think that, because he had said that to Unique would have took him out, because he'd be like, what? You been working with Marvin all this time and you ain't tell me? Like, we supposed to have the dealer. So I knew as soon as he said that, I was like, oh yeah, he about to go tell Stefano exactly what was going on. He about to go snitch.
All right, so in this scene right here, we see a janitor that's mopping the floor, cleaning up, and we see Kanan approach him. We learned that Purcell is Krystal's mom's boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And Kanan runs up on him and asks him, like, have y'all heard anything from Krystal? And he was like, Purcell was like, nah, Krystal don't talk to her mom no more. And then, Kanan started, drilling him down about, I heard you like to put your hands. Remember, Krystal had told Kanan that she didn't want to go back home because her mom boyfriend had dick feeling hands. So, Kanan, gave him some hands and feet.
He caught that man off guard because he was mopping the floor. He slipped.
He slipped and fell, and Kanan started kicking him and stomping him out and like whooping his ass. And I think a lot of that came from his frustration about not being able to find Krystal, one, and two, thinking back on that conversation that they had about the dick feeling hands. So I think Kanan's attack on Purcell was just aggression. It was.
I agree with that, Xavier. Purcell does sound like the name of a pervert.
Yeah, well, he felt what them Tims felt like.
Yeah, you know what them Tims felt like.
You know what them Tims felt like. And as he's laying there, Katie told him, like, listen, if you or Krystal Mom hear anything about Krystal, you call me. He's like, nod your head. And as he walked off, he took the dirty mop water and poured it on him. And that was the equivalent of him spitting on that man at that point. That was the equivalent of him spitting on that man when he took that dirty mop bucket and turned it over on him.
Yeah, when he did that, I was like, the first time I did, I was like, okay, what's that supposed to do? Like, all right. then it hit me. I was like, oh, okay, he trying to disrespect you, like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, fuck your bucket, like, you know what I'm saying? Exactly like you said.
I can't even be mad at Unique for what he did, because he did rock a favor. He did rock a favor. You got David up in the club and he just having the best time of his life, and ain't nowhere near concerned about moving his work for Rock.
Nope.
He ain't nowhere near concerned about moving his work for Rock. He go in the bathroom and take him a hit, and we have.
But
go ahead.
Oh no, I was just trying to figure out, how did E-Tone beat him to the bathroom?
He came in after him. When he went in the bathroom to take the line, E-Tone came in the door after him. He was at the club.
I'm gonna have to rewatch it because he came out of the stall, so that's why I was lost. Like, yo, how he get in that joint?
Oh, I didn't think he came out the stall. I thought he came out the door. He came in the door.
Nah, he came out the stall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's why I was trying to figure out how he beat him, because he was watching him in the club, and I don't know. Yeah.
It seems like, not that it matters or that we care or anything, but it's just weird all of a sudden now they introduced to us that the character is gay. Like, I don't understand where that came from, because they did not give us that previously with David. The last two episodes is like all of a sudden they made the character gay. I guess so this was a plot. That was a plot device for this to happen right here, I suppose. Maybe I answered my own question there. E-Tone, Lamar Jackson, Baltimore Ravens in the building. comes through and puts David down. Bang, bang, shoot him up, bang, bang. And just like that, David is gone out of here. Something that Marvin should have did in reverse. Instead of putting down Terry, put down David kooky ass. David was just
David want to do a number, get high on their own supply.
Get on high and not moving that work for them.
Nope.
We learned that last week when Rock came through and like, hey, where the drivers and stuff at? So you could see that David had been letting the business go and not taking care of the business. And as a result of it, they work wasn't moving anyway. So Etone, Lamar Jackson, you did us a favor. You did the family a favor, put David down because he was a loose cannon.
Xavier, I thought that as well, like, because of how he was in that club, I thought he would have been noticed. But then at the same time, I'm thinking, like, we're talking about the 90s. So, like, when you're in the 90s, like, people was in there just, you know.
That's all right. Etone had that iron on him, though.
Yeah, he was hiding. So I felt like, I was like, oh, okay. Because I was like, how y'all don't see this man sitting in there? But, like, he kind of sticks out. And I'm thinking, like, you know what? This was the 90s. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how he was able to, whatchamacallit.
Man, Etone came through with that iron. Put David down. Out of here. All right, so Juke is meeting up with Mara, and that was a little homie she made up over at the club that she was hanging out at. And Mara had reached out to her and let her know that, listen, like a detective pushed up on me, and he wasn't really asking me questions about you, but he was just basically telling me about how you and your family is no good and all this stuff. And then, of course, she's telling Juke about her new love interest and how she got a little boo thing now. I'm thinking to myself, you handled that right, Mara, because Juke asked her, well, what did you say? She was like, I ain't say nothing. Like, I don't know nothing. Like, don't go no further in this conversation. Because you might be in trouble if you go any further in this conversation. You said just enough.
Just enough.
Do you think she's a loose end?
I don't think she's a loose end because she didn't say nothing. I was just trying to figure out, how did Garcia know Juke know Mara?
I guess at this point we're left to think that Garcia is stalking her, following her around.
Because I was confused by that.
Because remember, he says later on in the episode, I'm gonna keep showing up at places unexpected. So he seemed to be tailing her, is what I got.
Okay, because I was confused. I was like, how? I was like, because he didn't mention nothing about like them having something to do with the husband unalive and none of that. I'm like, he just coming to her and just telling her. I'm like, wait a minute, like how you know where she been at? Because I'm like, we didn't even see him starting to interact with Juke until the last episode.
Yeah.
So that's why I was confused. I just didn't understand that.
Juke asked her, she like, you sure you didn't say anything? And she's like, no, I ain't got nothing to say. I ain't had nothing to say.
Yeah,
I'm like, Juke was processing that. And Juke was like, what am I gonna do about this? And she's like, so go ahead and tell me about this chick that you dealing with. I'm like, okay, change the subject.
Not only that, Marvin sounded scared as hell too.
Yeah, she's not scared. Well, you know, she kind of was already a little bit suspicious about Juke anyway, about the husband. Exactly, Dexter. Yeah. You know, she was already kind of asking questions like, you know, he disappeared or he was unalive after you asked for his address. So, you know, on the back end of this, in the back of her mind, she probably thinking like, yeah. He gave Juke Detective Garcia's card or whatever. And Juke got that look on her face like, this motherfucker here. Like, damn, what am I gonna do about this? I don't think Juke is gonna put him down. Nah. Part of me feel like Juke gonna lay a trap for him to get rid of him.
Yeah.
You know, all this stuff about dirty cops, and I just feel like a pinup is coming up on Garcia. Juke is not a minor at this point. She is of age. So I'm assuming her and Krystal are around about the same age, 18. So you know, can't really get him for talking to a minor. But I feel like Juke could possibly be coming up with some type of plan to get Garcia up out of here. Man, Stefano and these old heads, these mafioso old heads sitting around talking about their health issues and their prostates and how many times they got to get up and go to the bathroom. We're like, we don't care. when Early Tyler shows up, and I'm like, Early Tyler should have even been able to get in there. He should have even been able to get in there. You mooly, what you want? He walks up to Stefano and is like, I need a word with you about Marvin Thomas. And you know that got Stefano's attention all the way. Immediately, like, what you got for me? Rock shows back up to the distribution center, little warehouse where all the work is being moved out of, trying to get a parlay with David. Let David know that we got to get these trucks. She see David family sitting there crying or whatever. She already knew that he was gone. Gone. Yep. Gone to power hell or heaven.
Yep.
She go over to Marvin place like, what the we gonna do now? This crazy motherfucker is gone, and who knows who's gonna take over the business is even gonna want to deal with us, because at this point, ain't nobody over there in the restaurants or nothing gonna want to deal with y'all no more. All they people been dropped.
Yep.
All they people been dropped. So Marvin's like, well, maybe we can go get a word with Stefano and see if he got some trucks that we can use to move his work. She then uses this time to ask him about the Londale and Early Tyler situation. Did you take care of this? Before I go get with Stefano about this, did you do what I asked you to do? Did you handle it? And Marvin was like, it's handled. And she's like, my way or your way? And he talking about God's way. And I'm like, the wrong way. But I feel like at this point, he still couldn't clean it up because Early Tyler had already went and talked to Stefano.
Yep.
So he done for now at this point. And Rock just look at him like, you idiot. Like, you so stupid. Like, you don't learn nothing. And I feel like Marvin has truly made a lot of mistakes this season. And I can't help but wonder how they're going to come back and bite him.
Yeah.
What's your thought on Rock and Steph? Because Rock also says that this scene right here, she says she tired of going to the rigatonis and begging for their permission to do what she need to do. She says she got to work in the storage right now until they can figure out how to move it to the restaurants. But at this point, do you think Rock came to the conclusion that, yeah, we need to get rid of these Italians?
I'm thinking she probably did, but like she said before, it's got to be strategic, because you know what I'm saying? They done already put down one person, although that was a Jersey mob. You know what I'm saying? Now you talking about the New York crime family, which, I mean, everybody gonna be on them. Like, they gonna have to be, you know what I'm saying, watching their back 24/7. But I think, you know what? I'm thinking I'm gonna save it for a certain scene where I think she's gonna try to do to move that work.
Xavier, the best thing that we can come up with is why Marvin didn't take out ET. Rock answered the question for us last week when she said, you getting a piece of that business of his, he breaking you off. And I'm thinking to myself, you dummy, how do you think that's gonna last after you put his cousin down? You think that by not putting him down that he's still gonna break you off a piece of the business? There is no more business after this point, so you should have put him down.
Yeah. And I was also thinking that Marvin was smart, which we know but of course this whole season making so many mistakes. When he put Londale down, he should have made it look like it was somebody else and not him.
Yeah, you should have made it look like, you should have staged it like a robbery or something, or a carjacking or something like that. Like, yeah, you should have put him, or staged an accident or something like that. You should have made it a little bit more, like an accident.
Shoot, I'd have made it look like it was Stefano and them somehow, some way. I don't know how, but I would have. Maybe leave.
Going back to the scene with Krystal when Pop was fixing her that sandwich, I thought she was poisoning her. I thought she was putting something in the sandwich to poison her. Like, I wouldn't eat nothing from her, but the girl had been there for 3 days. She was hungry. She needed to eat. But yeah, man, these sloppy unalivings come back to haunt them. Lou up here at Cafe Vu with his counselor, with his sponsor. I feel like that's all Shirley is.
Mm-hmm.
She's just a listening ear. Lou is sitting here talking about the situation that he going through, how he trying to hold it together and everything, and how he got his head together, whatever, just giving Shirley some lip service or whatever. Really what he is coming to the conclusion that he finna get back into the life that he was trying to run away from. When Wig walks in and she talking about, can I get a word with you? I would be like, beat it. Like, I would have no conversation for her. Like, what you want? Fuck out of here. So she comes to him and she called herself breaking up. I was like, bounce.
I was trying to remember. I was trying to think, when was they ever in a relationship?
Lou looking at her like, this bitch here, like, what you want? Like, why are you here? And she's like, I don't trust you. And I don't know if you had anything to do with those murders or not, but I don't want anything to do with you anymore. And I'm thinking to myself, Lou? Dragon Slayer Lou? Better do something with her.
Right to stuff.
She broke up with a nigga that was single.
Because I was trying to figure out was they in a relationship together.
That's exactly what she did. She broke up with herself.
Exactly. That's why he was like, okay, like this, we got old Lou back. Okay.
Lou needs to drop her. He need to drop her. Although she not a CI, what I said last week, she's a situation. And I'm going to tell you what this situation is. When those detectives pull back up on her to question her again, she's going to say too much. You need to get rid of her.
Yep. I was surprised. When they pulled up on them in the studio, but I guess I keep forgetting this is also the 90s. But I thought at some point like they was gonna have like video footage of them like coming in the studio, coming out of the studio, you know what I'm saying, whatever, and show. But then I remembered like what he said. Oh yeah, he stopped by her house at around such and such time. So it's like she was never there at the studio to see, regardless. There's a huge difference, DeMarcus. Like, huge difference. Like, Jessica knew what Lou was doing. That's the difference. And she was ready to ride. Imani is, it's a huge difference. Like, there's a huge difference. So, oh yeah, Corlin, I had been saying that. I knew she wasn't an informant. I knew she wasn't a CI. We would have saw that by some point by now.
But she finna turn one as soon as they come back and talk to her. As soon as they come back and talk to her again, she gonna tell too much she don't need to. Juke walking down the street and none other than Aisha pulls up on her. She's like, hey, Juke. And she had a little time home from school and she came home and she was hoping she would run into her and she found her Juke. And, they have a little moment. They had a little bakery or whatever. They just chit-chat, catching up, spend a little time with each other. When Aisha tells her about a little boy that she been dating, she asked Juke, have you been seeing anybody? Juke like, yeah, I've been with a few people. No, just Jackie.
Yeah.
And she was like, look at me getting a little jealous about Juke. And I'm like, where are they going with this? Like I said last week, and we'll continue to say, relationships in the Power universe do not last. They're not good for anyone. When none other than Creepy Garcia rolls up on her, he's like, Laverne, Juke, and Aisha, I love how Aisha was looking him down. She was like, we don't talk to the police. Like, what you want? Right. And Juke tries to send her home or whatever. She's like, no, are you good? She's like, no, I'm good. You can go on home or whatever. And for what she responded to Garcia with, Aisha could have stayed.
Exactly.
Aisha could have stayed. I would be like, hold up 1 minute. This ain't gonna take but a minute. Like, listen, I don't told you before. I don't talk to the police. I ain't got nothing for you. Just like she said, fuck you. And they could have turned and walked off.
Yep.
But that's pretty much what she told Garcia. She's like, what you want? He was like, for you to do your civic duty, what I always want. Will you tell me something? She's like, I ain't got nothing for you. Fuck you. And walk off. I'm like, if that's all you was going to do, you should have just told Aisha, hold up a minute. This ain't going to take but a minute.
Yeah.
Kanan sitting at the house going through. Kanan going through.
He going through it, bro.
And I think also in this moment, he has realized that he cared more about Krystal than he probably let her know that he cared about.
Mm-hmm.
And so he like, man, fuck this. He and his feelings, he's sitting there looking at a picture of them, and he and his feelings, he like, fuck this. And he storms out of the apartment. And I'm like, okay. So you got Unique back at his Dragon's Lair. You got Unique back at the tailor shop, and he talking to the fellas about, this work and, how, they celebrate their wins, basically. When, he looked at Eton, he was like, you're a big old buck. And he was like, what they feeding y'all Jersey niggas up there? He told me, New York niggas. When you hear a commotion in the background and they all go out in the room and find out what the commotion is all about, Notorious P.I.G., he laughing and, he having a good old time.
Hey, yo. I thought it was just me when I saw that scene. I was like, yo, if he don't look, I was like, if he don't look like a low budget version of Biggie.
That's why I call him Notorious P.I.G.
When I saw it, I said, dang, he look like a low budget version of Biggie.
I'm ready for Piggy to go. Like, he get on my nerves. Everything about him gets on my nerves. The character gets on my nerves.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go out to the main room. Like, what's all this commotion about or whatever? It is Kanan. And, you know, Kanan's like, I need to holler at Unique. I need to get at Unique. One thing I can't say about Kanan's stupid ass, he got heart. He got heart. He ain't scared of nobody. He ain't scared of nothing. Like, he rolled up on them by himself. I'm like, yo, Nick, I need to get at you for a minute. And so, you know, him and Unique go out back and they have a conversation. Piggy out there, like, I guess he's supposed to be security or whatever. I don't know what Piggy was out there trying to do.
I thought the same thing. I figured he was just back out. He was just out there as backup just in case.
Yeah.
Just in case Kanan was trying to set him up.
I wish Kanan's situational awareness activates. Because when, you know, basically Kanan went over there to ask him, do you know anything about my girl? Nigga, like, fuck, I know about that. No, I don't know nothing about that. Like, but I know you soft out here. You looking soft out here. Like, all your people's falling down by the wayside. Famous, your girl, the little Webster dude. And he like, how you know about OC? And Kanan, you picked up on it, but you didn't stay on it. You didn't stay on that. Like, you should have stayed there for a little bit. Like, yeah, Unique, how do you know about OC? Or whatever. And then Unique chopped it up as, man, the streets talking, everybody know about OC or whatever case may be. And he's basically trying to bait Kanan into working with him, much like Ronnie did with him.
Yep.
And he was like, yeah, he don't connect dots. Exactly. Yep. And then he was like, I know you had something to do with my brother. You ain't telling me that you ain't had something to do with, because Unique was basically telling him, like, listen, I ain't got no beef with you. I got beef with Rock. And if you partners with Rock, then I'm gonna have beef with you too. And Kanan's like, listen, I get my work from her, and that's it. That's all. And so, you know, Unique was like, but I bet you know something about what happened with my brother. He's like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll put it down, and I'll do it again. And so Unique liked that. And then he goes on to tell Unique, like, listen, over here on the South Side, we take care of ours. So, you know, if you with us, you know, we take care of you too. And I'm thinking to myself, please don't give us a rinse and repeat of Kanan now going to work with Unique after he worked with Ronnie. The shit didn't work out with you and Ronnie. It ain't going to work out with you and Unique.
Right. But, yeah, DeMarcus, I thought this as well. I thought we were going to get this when he finally saw Unique. Like, wait a minute, hold on. Krystal said some scary looking dude with his face disfigured, and he still never put the dots together. This is why I've been saying all season long, this man is not street smart. Like, he don't have no street smarts. Like, he's been easily manipulated since last season, even to now. Like, he's trying to prove he's street smart, but he's not.
Very good point, Xavier. Kanan is dumb. Because why doesn't he realize Unique is the enemy, and his return coincides with the money being gone? Absolutely. Because as soon as Rock got them over to her crib and met with them and told them that Unique was back, he got robbed. The first, remind you, he got robbed twice by Unique. He got robbed twice by Unique. When he pushed up on OC at the stash house, he flipped OC, and then he robbed the storage. So that does coincide with Unique's return. All of a sudden, you got robbed, stuck up twice, and you think your mom is responsible for all this. Like, are you an idiot? Why would your mom, you working, you getting your work from your mom? Why would she be robbing your stash house? Like, you ain't put the pieces together that it's Unique that's out here robbing you, bro. Oh, I'm glad I'm not the only one that sees it. And so again, Kanan tells Unique that, listen, I know you're just trying to get at my mom's or whatever, and Unique is like, that'd be an added benefit. However, though, I mean, I like how you handle yourself out here in these streets. You got the courier system, you know, and then again, that should have sparked Kanan a question too, but like, how you know about that? So that tells you right there that Unique been watching his operation, like, again,
for a minute.
Upstar keeps saying that he don't connect no dots.
Connect no dots.
Got something to do with his mom. I thought this was very interesting. Y'all was out back. Why you just didn't walk around the back of the building to the front? He went back in the building to come out the front door. A plot device for Rock to see him coming out of Unique spot. So Rock's sitting here doing her surveillance again at Unique's place, watching his movements, and she see Kanan coming out of there. What do you think she's thinking here in this moment?
Oh, that Kanan is making a deal with Unique. Because the distraught look on her face was just like, yo. Because remember, as soon as I saw the distraught look, I thought about when Juke told her earlier, you need to be worried about losing him. I mean, saving him. So I felt like here when she saw that, she like, damn, like he going to my enemy right now. Like he's so hell bent on me thinking I'm taking down Fame and I had something to do with Krystal disappearance. Now he done went through Unique to try to get back at me.
I wish that this would have been a moment for Unique to realize too that Rock didn't have anything to do with putting down Ronnie. Remember, he spent the whole season so far screaming and hollering, Rock put my brother down, put Howard down. This should have been a realization for Unique too.
Yep.
Exactly, Cubstar. Exactly. He spent the whole season saying Rock unalive Ronnie. Yeah. But
I figured that it was as he thought that Rock put Kanan up to it. It's kind of somewhat how I looked at it.
But exactly, he did. He did think that Rock had put Kanan up to it. But when Kanan said, no, I did this work. I did that. And I'll do it again. The nigga needed to be checked. I checked him. That right there should have confirmed or should have clicked with Unique that, damn, maybe Rock didn't have anything to do with putting Ronnie down or whatever.
But they so blinded by rage, bro.
Both of them are in the same, yep. I hate Rock. I guess Piggy is asking Unique at this point, listen, why are you wasting time with this dude? Like, why are you even entertaining this shit? And Unique is like, I like the little nigga. Like, he's connected to some major players besides his mama, and I don't want no problems with that right now. And plus, I like the work that he out here doing or whatever. He growing up, he'll be good for the team or whatever. So I think Unique kind of do want to work with Kanan, but I don't think that Kanan, been there, done that, I wouldn't go back down these roads.
I think he just want to do it to get back to hurt Rock.
I don't exactly. Well, after what happens in this episode, he's absolutely going to work with Unique, but I think it's going to be short-lived, just like how it was with Ronnie.
Yeah.
Because of what his puppet masters are telling him. But my question is, how do we get rid of these Jersey niggas? I don't feel like they're loyal to Unique. They're loyal to the money that he's paying them. Who gonna flip them?
Well, I mean, he said on Unique. I already feel like Phil about to stop messing with them altogether. Just
right. That's what I was thinking.
So I think at some point it could be where, I don't know, maybe Rock goes to him like, man, look, I could pay y'all more than what Unique is paying y'all or something. I don't know. But I feel like at some point that, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to figure that out as well. I think they're going to ride for a minute.
But if Russo ain't fucking with him no more, that's his help. The muscle.
Yeah, but I mean, Russo put him on to Akbar. I don't think Akbar was necessarily working for Russo.
Okay. That makes sense.
Because you already know they don't want to work with us anyway. He made it known they ain't trying to work with black folks anyway. So I think it was just one of them type situations. And now but I got a feeling certain later on, like, yeah, they about to do something because they just been seeing Unique at some point. He wilded out. And I'm still trying to figure out how he paying them because he ain't got no product neither.
That money he stole from Katie.
Oh, I forgot all about that bread.
Twice. That money he don't stole from Katie twice. Plus he robbed Rock for her money at the Golden Pavilion.
That's right.
So he really been sticking him up this season. He stuck him up for a little work and he stuck him up for some money. So that's how he been getting by with his illicit proceeds from sticking up Kanan and Rock. This goofy ass. I wanted Lou to jump across that desk and smack the shit out of his ass. he told Armani doesn't want to work with you anymore. And listen, I can't be involved in any criminality. And Luke, like, what the fuck are you talking to me about that for? Like, I ain't have shit to do with that shit. Like, the crazy part about it is Lou is guilty by association.
Yeah.
But he did a good thing though, because he took B Rilla's problem and made it his own, trying to help B Rilla get out of the situation he got himself into. So yeah, he was involved, but he wasn't involved with the robbery and all that. And the unaliving of those two, he had to do in order to protect B Rilla and ultimately protect his goofy ass.
Yeah.
He like, listen, I can't have all this around me, and Alani doesn't want to work for me, and she won't tell me why. And like, you, Lucy, I'm gonna make this real easy for you. I'm a street nigga. I do street shit. I quit.
I quit.
Now
that I ain't even gonna lie, I didn't see that coming. I knew the new path, like, you know, was said in the description, but I didn't see that coming. I didn't see that coming at all.
And he's like, the streets won't give you money.
He definitely, I forgot. He definitely said that. He said
the streets won't give you any money. He's like, fuck all that. I'm still quitting. I'm out of here. Lou like, peace, bro. Thanks for the opportunity, but I'm up out of here, yo. This goofy ass situation. Man, go ahead and take this scene right here, because this shit made me mad.
So, of course, we got Stefano, Rock, and none other than Marvin sitting down, having a chat about everything that's going on, and they're trying to, Rock lets Stefano know, like, hey, I got the product, we need to move it, like, how we gonna move it, you know, and everything else. And Stefano continues to talk to Rock, and then that's when he tells Rock, like, hey, you know what, I need to talk to you without Marvin. And of course Marvin leaves, because as we all know, he's heard from Early Tyler, so he's going to try to do two birds in one stone. And he tells Rock, like, hey, your brother came to me and he wants you gone from your spot. And immediately,
oh, that's a lie.
We know that's a lie.
Yep.
And I think even she knows that's a lie. And she responds to him by saying, like, the same way you loyal to your family, I'm loyal to my family. And I felt like that's what I said here. He was trying to flip and figure like Rock was going to be the one, like, you know what? Here, you can take him. We're just going to hand him over, since he done did so much. He done messed up so much for him and made so many mistakes that, so it backfired on him. Like, nah, I'm not giving up my brother. Like this. So I mean, we all know Brock not about to give up his brother, especially not to the Linguini guys. So, but I just didn't understand. I'm like, Stefano, I'm just like, you really don't think that at some point when you went to Marv and said to him, like, yo, I want your sister gone, you don't think that Marvin went back and told Rock that? So
no. He answered that by saying, because remember when Rock said, I don't believe that shit. And he was like, yeah, just like you didn't believe me and Marvin had a side business going on outside of you. So you casted a little bit of doubt. And what I was going to say that, Courtland, you're absolutely right. Stefano tried to flip Marvin, didn't work. Now he tries Rock. The only thing about it, he's going back to Marvin and his mistakes. Had Marvin immediately left there and told Rock what Stefano had propositioned him.
Yep.
Because that was the same episode. He was like, we need to put Stefano down. That was the reason why he went to Rock and told Rock that we need to put Stefano down. But you didn't tell her the full story. You should have went ahead and said, yo, this nigga just tried to approach me and try to get me to flip on you. We need to put him down. That's the conversation that you should have had. But instead, you said we need to put him down. But you didn't explain to her why you had came to that conclusion. So again, Marvin and his loose ends. So I think right here, Rock does come to the conclusion that I can't do business with them no more.
Yeah.
Like, they trying to play both sides. They trying to play us against each other. So that right there should tell Rock that I no longer have an ally with Stefano.
Yeah.
So now what she had said earlier is really coming to fruition. Now, she getting tired of them. Well, he's showing you right here that he's tired of you and Marvin. So I think Rock, when this look right here says more than what words say,
Yeah.
And it's like she's coming to that conclusion right now. Yeah, you got to go.
Yeah, when Rock get that look, you already know she's strategizing.
She's strategizing. Yeah,
she's strategizing at that point.
So Marvin had been dismissed by Stefano. He was like, I need to get a word with Rock. So he's outside waiting for Rock to come out of the restaurant. And he looks across the street and see a little girl getting off the school bus, and it reminds him of Amber that he need to go check up on her. He hadn't heard from her in the last 3 weeks or so. So he's his mind drifts off to the little girl. Rock comes out the restaurant and she was like, Early Tyler came over here and told Stefano everything. She said, you fucked up, Marvin.
Yep.
And she get into, listen here, this is sidebar. When did she get the Range Rover back? I thought she was driving Land Cruiser.
Nah, she been had that. I want to say episode 4.
I missed that because I thought she had went to like a Land Cruiser, but yeah,
she did, and then she got it back by the time. Matter of fact, when the warehouse first got hit, that's when she had the green Range Rover.
Okay,
she went back to the range.
She get in the whip and she pulled off, and Marvin like, fuck. I feel like Marvin, instead of leaving there, the crazy part about it is, Marvin, where are your priorities? Instead of leaving there and going put Early Tyler down, you leave there to go see about Amber.
Yep.
Which you could have still did after you handled the early. You need to go clean up this mess at this point because he don't left you in a mess. Y'all think maybe Rock will try to team up with Unique to take out Stefano? Yes, Portland. Stick around because we're going to get to that when we get to the I do.
Okay. I want to hear that theory, bro.
I do. I absolutely agree with Cortland. I do. So he pull up on Russo, Unique pull up on Russo, and these mafiosos, they sitting around, they smoking, they drinking, they having their little coffee, their little espresso shots, and they, life is good for them. Their hands don't get dirty or anything, right? These people pull up to them and kiss the ring type shit.
Yep. Unique
came over, and I don't really know I don't know if he was summoned to come because the conversation was about David. So I'm assuming Russo reached out to him for a beating. Like, did you put this chink down? I heard about the chink getting put down, or I know you had something to do with it. And Russo pretty much tells him in this moment that, listen, I'm tired of you and your ghetto mess.
Yep.
Like, I ain't fucking with it. Is this his way of saying that we're done?
That's how I took it. I took it. We're not gonna see him no more. I literally took it. To be honest, I will not be surprised. Well, no.
Like, at this point, what business are you doing with Russo anyway?
The backing. That's all he needed. He just needed somebody.
Yeah, the backing. That's all you're paying for is backing. Yeah.
Because Russo told him, no matter what, I'm gonna still need my money.
I felt like that too, Dexter. I feel like that too. I feel like everything that's going on over there, Unique spot, Piggy is taking back. The Taurus PIG is taking back the Russo. I absolutely agree with that, Dexter. Russo said, well, I ain't want to get involved with your ghetto fabulous mess. I'm like, okay, those little offhanded comments about is it because I'm black? Is it because I'm black? Unique standing there like, Unique, how long did you think this was gonna last for you? When you tried to work with the mafiosos the first time with Sal and them and his crew, it didn't work out for you. I said that last week, saying it again this week. Like, Unique, did you really think this was a match made in heaven? Like, really?
I mean, shoot, the first introduction, Russo said, I should put you down.
For coming over here. For bringing your ass over here. Yep.
Yeah. Because of the whole thing behind Sal.
Yep, he did.
That's literally what he said. He was like, yo, I should put you down. Like, although Sal's wife vouched for you, I should still put you down because you're like one of the reasons why Sal is not here.
Italians. Russo is supplying him the army through Akbar, but I guess what like Fresh was saying earlier, that he just established the connection. I don't know. I feel that way too, though. I feel that way. That's a loose end for Unique. I don't think he realizes a loose end for him because Akbar is going to be loyal to Russo more than he's going to be loyal to him. But
yeah,
Unique hasn't come to that realization yet.
Yeah, because he's just paying Akbar for the soldiers. That's it.
He's paying for soldiers. Yeah.
P.
Rilla, and Lou meet at Cafe Vu, And Lou's breaking the news to Rilla that listen, he quit the thing at the record label and he ain't gonna be working there no more. And Rilla got the nerve to sit there and have a fit about it. Like, I wouldn't be in this situation if you hadn't decided to rob Loyal's spot. So that's the real reason why I had to quit the job, because of all this thing, because I had to put these two fools down to save your ass. Rilla's sitting here expressing disappointment in the fact that he's not going to be able to finish the work that they started in the studio. And at the same time, he tells Lou that, listen, I got a little one at home I got to take care of. I need work. And Lou's like, word? And then Rilla going to tell him, I can get gully and everything. I'm like, yeah, okay. But I think that he owe Lou not only when Lou said, you like, because Rilla was basically telling him, like, you just like the rest. And Lou's like, no, I'm not like the rest. I got you out of jail.
Yep.
Not only did I get you out of jail, but I solved that problem for you last episode. Them two niggas that were getting ready to put you down, I solved that problem for you too. So I think I'm a little bit different than what you think I am, right? So he pretty much tells Lou, like, listen, I need this work. Keep me in mind. Like, I'll get gully and everything. I do feel like Lou's going to give him a job.
Of course.
Yeah. And it might even be putting Pernessa down, but we'll get there.
Okay.
So Lou pretty much like, I got you, bro. So they're going to be a little team up. They're going to be Lou little worker. That's going to be Lou's worker right there. He going to end up working with Lou on some street shit.
Yep.
So we may see a little bit more of B-Rilla. Initially, I thought B-Rilla was going to be up out of here. But I think we're going to have him around. He's going to be hanging around for a little while. Now, he might get dropped. He might get dropped off out here in these streets trying to put that work in. But I think we're going to have Rilla around for a little bit.
Yeah.
And he's starting to grow on me a little bit finally. He's finally starting to grow on me a little bit. Because, I didn't see it for him at all. I didn't like B-Rilla.
Yeah.
Kanan back at the crib on the phone. He done called 30 hospitals looking for Krystal. 30 hospitals, 16 police stations, and maybe 17 fire departments looking for Krystal. He done call all around town looking for her. Nobody has a Jane Doe that they can't identify. And so he gets off the phone with Juke and tell Juke that she ain't here. She gone. I know she gone. And Juke is pretty much trying to tell him to stay positive, that it still could work out. And he tells Juke, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, nothing ever works out for us.
Yeah.
And right here and there, he said, I'm going to go talk to Bonnie and Clyde and see what they've heard. Oh, I was hoping Drew would look to him and say, hey, quit running over there talking to Bonnie and Clyde. Like, I don't think it's clicked for her yet, too, but I think it's going to click because every time he go over there to them, something else happens.
Yeah.
Like, I was hoping that would have clicked for her. Like, when he went to go ask Bonnie and Clyde about Fame, Krystal went missing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would think that Juke would have been on tied those pieces together by now and say, maybe you need to stop going over there talking to Bonnie and Clyde because every time you go over there, something happened. Them pieces hadn't fell into play yet, but
I thought she was going to tell them, don't go. Let me work my contact real quick, and then we'll figure it out.
She did. She told him that she could possibly see what she could find out about Krystal. She had a contact that is a little complicated, but I'm going to go talk to that contact and see what I can find out about Krystal for you. So she did share that with him. Hey, that was a good one, Dexter. Why didn't Kanan check with the bus company? That's the only place he hadn't checked on was the bus, or with the bus driver or anything like that. But maybe he didn't know how she planned on getting out of town.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That he didn't know.
Actually, I said it last week, and I'm gonna say it again. Part of this is his fault too for letting her get out of town by herself. He should have saw her off. If he was going to put her on a bus, he should have put her on a bus. If he was going to, just like how they drove, like when Tiffany drove him down to Virginia that time when Rock was trying to get him out of town, he should have seen to her getting out of town.
Yep. Like, shoot, you could put her on a plane, anything. Like, you could stash her somewhere. So, like,
Juke is definitely smarter than Kanan, and the more stuff happens around this situation, the more she gonna start putting the pieces together about Bonnie and Clyde. She don't involve herself in enough of the business to know how shady Pop and Snap are, but yes, she knew about that from the beginning, though. Remember when she found out that he was working with Bonnie and Clyde, she was like, can't fuck with them old heads, Bonnie and Clyde. She knew about them that they wasn't all together anyway, because she knew they. Remember, she said something about they were robbing banks and shit.
Yep.
She know how Bonnie and Clyde's reputation precedes them, because she never really had a good feeling about Kanan working with them to begin with. Marvin over here at the school, and he trying to get some information on Amber or whatever. And I don't know if he's a teacher's aide, a coach.
I think it was security.
Maybe he's security. Maybe that's what he is, hall monitor. He's black. He's black, so he can't be much more than that. He's black. He can't be much more than that working at that school. Dude tell Marvin that, listen, Amber ain't been to school in 3 weeks, and her foster family keep calling into the office every day saying that she's sick. Marvin said, I know you got to have our address up there in that office. He said, I don't know nothing about that. Marvin reached out, give him probably about a C note. He said, I'll be right back.
Yep. Immediately. I'll see what I can do.
Immediately, Xavier talking about not the hall monitor. What else is he? You got a whistle around his neck, so if he ain't a coach, he's a hall monitor.
If he ain't security, he's a hall monitor.
Right. So we knew right then and there that Marvin was going to leave immediately from the school and go over to the place. And he knocks at the door a few times, doesn't get an answer. And finally, his old dingy, dirty, look like they crackheads themselves come to the door and say, who you and what you want? He's like, I'm Marvin Thomas. I'm here to see after Amber. I was a friend of the family prior to her getting with y'all. The husband comes to the door all dirty and nasty and talking shit to me. Get the fuck up out of here before I call the police on you. Marvin remembered his breathing from season 2. He remembered his breathing. He was like, I'm finna punch this nigga in the face. He had to breathe real good. Like,
we hadn't seen that for a minute.
We hadn't saw that in a while. Yeah, that was a good callback. And then the little girl holler after Marvin was getting ready to leave. He was getting ready to leave when he heard the little girl holler after him, Uncle Marvin. And he bust through there to try to find her and find out what was going on with her, because they kept saying that the girl, we don't know nothing about you. Ain't nothing wrong with her. She got a cold. Blah, 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 blah. Marvin pushed past them and hit a little girl hollering after him and kicks down the door to get to her. And the lady jumps on his back and he pushed her down. He pushed the husband down or whatever and get in there and find out that Amber is there with a little newborn baby. Like, he's like, Marvin was like, what the hell they doing to y'all in here? Why they got them kids locked up in there like that?
I figured they had them locked up in there because they was just collecting the check from the state.
From the social services, ain't really taking care of them.
So they locked them up in there because they weren't really taking care of them, and like just put them in there, and we gonna continue to get the bread from the state and do our drugs and do whatever else we doing.
And that's exactly what it is. No, nothing more than that. As I said, this was no mafioso, so I knew what this was about. When I say nobody charging at the Marvin in the preview with the bat, I said, oh yeah, that's he over there saying about Amber. Marvin put him down, put down the old lady. He needed to put her down because she called him a nigger. And Nigger nigger. That's what she called him.
Dang, I must have not have even been paying attention.
When she jumped on his back, she was like, get out of my house, you nigger.
Dang, I definitely wasn't paying. I think because I was so excited trying to see what was happening, I probably didn't pay attention to her saying that.
Marvin tells Amber, look, I got to go. I'm going to circle back around on you. I got to get out of here for a moment. I'm like, why you just don't take the girl with you? Marvin was like, I got to get out of here for a moment, but I'll be back. I'll circle back around, check on you when the dust settle. Let's tell my white man with tattoos, broken hand, did all this. And kiss her on the forehead, and he leaves. This look right here, I can't figure it out. Is this a problem? Is this as he said last week to Stefano, this white people work. You don't win did white people work now. Is this a problem that's gonna come back and see Marvin?
So I took it two ways. DeMarcus, just for your comment real quick. Yeah, he left fingerprints everywhere as usual, but I knew that wasn't gonna make any difference because he did it when he went and unalived Mara's husband.
Yep.
I took this as one or two ways.
Blood. You left blood and fingerprints.
Blood and fingerprints. I took it as one, she was shocked by what Marvin did
for her.
And like, wow, he saved me. But then I also took it as maybe she's starting to think like you're the reason why my father's not here.
That's what I'm trying to figure out too. I'm trying to figure out what did this leave this little girl thinking?
Cause just the way she was looking, just like because right after he popped him, it was just like she was just looking like, and so that's why I couldn't gauge it. I think it's one of the two. Like I just don't know yet. But
I can't figure it out either.
I feel like this: if Marvin get caught behind this after all the stuff he done all season, I'm gonna be mad for real.
Like I said, it's white people work, so you never know. You never know. The little girl was an orphan before, and she definitely. I just hope that maybe this situation puts her in a better situation than she was in. Because I mean, no doubt she was in a fucked up situation. No doubt about that. She was in a fucked up situation. So, maybe this puts her in a better situation. So let's hope that for the little girl. Maybe we'll see her again in the Power Universe another day, another time. But I feel like this is the end of her. We ain't gonna see her no more.
Yeah.
Juke does what she said she was gonna do, and I was like, "What is Garcia showing her?" When he got no smartphones in 93, 92, what was he showing her?
I took it as he was showing her a Polaroid of Krystal.
Oh, is that what that is? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Because right after that, that's when she look at it and was just like, yeah, like she could tell, like, oh, that's Krystal gone. She, you know what I'm saying? She on the live, like, this is your friend. And so that's why I figured like he just took a Polaroid because he said something about the Jane. He was like, here's the Jane Doe that you was looking for. But this whole scene right here was almost, to me, was like a rinse and repeat of how she used to meet with Bert.
Yeah, Steven, I understand that, but Lamar Jackson, you know, his appearance on the show was just a cameo appearance.
Yeah.
If you go look on his IMDb credits, he's only credited for one episode, so we won't see Eton anymore. That was just something for him to do.
Not JJ, not as far as the DNA, but Marvin got a record.
The fingerprints is what we were talking about, not the DNA.
Yeah.
I just mentioned that he left blood behind when he got stabbed and got cut up, but definitely left fingerprints behind.
Marvin was already in jail once, so like I'm sure they got
his to prison.
Yeah, he been in prison, so I'm sure they got his fingerprints on file. So,
but Juke goes and call that favor in for Kanan about Krystal, and Garcia come back and said we found Jane Doe in the stairway in Edgemond, and that you owe me. And I was like, well, she didn't really have nobody else to call but the one that had been harassing her, because it's not like she had Bert to call anymore. So yeah, she got the intel for Kanan. I still feel like Juke can possibly get Garcia mixed up in something though.
I feel that way too.
Luke over here to Rock place. Rock smoking them cigarettes, so you know what that means.
Yep. Because matter of fact, anytime she smokes cigarette, I mean, it's about to get real.
She's stressed.
Yep.
She's stressed out. Luke over here and tell her that, look, I want this work back. I want to get back in. And Rock sound like lip service to me. He's like, no, I don't got my head together. I'm out of my head. She's like, so you done with the music shit? And he was like, nah, the music stuff's still gonna always be here, but I missed this work. I want to get back in. And he's like, you know what? I was really going through. It was not about putting the people down. It was about how much I enjoyed putting them down. And I kind of low-key believe him on that. But I actually think that that's an after-the-fact thing, because before he absolutely had an issue with putting them folks down.
Yeah.
Because remember, he kept seeing the hallucinations of Scrappy and her mama and all that. So I feel like that. Yeah, you saying that now, Lou, but that's not what that was when you were going through what you were going through when you were trying to unalive yourself.
Yeah, because she was whooping him up.
Exactly, Xavier. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. You done a whole 360. Now all of a sudden you like and enjoy doing this work. That's not what you were showing us. That's not what you was giving us last season.
Nope.
So he pretty much tells Rock that he is the Dragon Slayer. And Rock says, oh, you're the Dragon Slayer. Okay.
That's
we are getting ready to go to the Dragon's lair. Strap up. And so just like that, Lou is back in the family and probably is getting ready to fall back into that right-hand man role that he was shown as in season 1 for Rock. Because Marvin out here making a mess of everything he touched. So I think Lou gonna go ahead and get this work done.
Yep.
Although he didn't get the work done with Warrell, but hopefully he does better on his new assignments. So he's extremely thrilled at the idea that Rock has work for him to do right now. So I feel like his first job is going to be put Pernessa down. We'll get there. His ultimate job is to take Unique out, but she may end up using him to take Stefano out too. But we'll talk about that in the previews.
Okay, because I got a theory on Pernessa, so
we'll talk about that in previews. Okay, so Kanan show up over here to Bonnie and Clyde, and of course he's asking them about Krystal. Why would they know anything about your girlfriend? Why would you go and ask them anything about your girlfriend? They don't know her, and she didn't know them.
Nope.
So of course they tell him that, look, we don't know nothing about that, but it's a coincidence that you are here. We got information back from our contacts at NYPD, and it was your mom that called a hit on Fame.
I've been telling y'all out there since the beginning of this season. This is what they were trying to do since day one, was manipulate this boy to get him away from Rock. I know a lot of people got confused with the scene where they was in there and Snapping Pops told Kanan he needed to listen to his mother, X, Y, and Z, but they were saying that because Kanan was getting disrespectful, and like, just because you are investment, still you crossing the line. But they've been saying all season long he's an investment. So when I brought that up before, that it could be Snaps and Pop that put Famous down, everybody thought it was crazy. So I've been saying they're gonna manipulate him, and Kanan's so stupid that he don't even realize that. Like, he immediately just goes to what she said, our contacts have no reason to lie. They ain't gonna lie to us. Like, bro, you ain't trying to do no type of investigation.
And spinning that comment into Cubstar's comment, Kanan cool with everyone having NYPD contacts except for Rock. Exactly. It's okay for everyone else to have them, but your mama have one. Something wrong.
I was just thinking, like, in my head, I was just thinking, like, bruh, like, you don't even think that this is somewhat just how a huge coincidence? Like, it ain't clicking your head. Like, wait a minute. Like, hold on, man. Like, I just spoke to I know I don't mess with my mother, but I just spoke to her at the diner. She said she told me about Krystal. She ain't did nothing about Fame. She told me about the whole thing with D Wiz. And now I'm coming back in here from y'all to, like.
But it goes back to, they are truly taking advantage of his mom's. Remember, actually, I think they just came to this resolve. Because of what they did with Fame. They were looking for a way to get out of that and pin that up on someone else. Because remember, as you said, originally they wasn't really invested in the whole beef between Kanan and Rock. Kanan been talking shit about Rock since day one. Mm-hmm. He came in there talking to them or whatever. And remember, Snap even checked him one time about not listening to his mom and being disrespectful and all that stuff. So I think Pop is the ringleader for all this, really. But when Pop heard that girl say that he hate his mom and he blamed everything on his mom, they use that. Now they're going to spin that to their advantage. Now everything that has happened to him, now they're going to be like, yeah, Rock did it, to keep him off their trail. Mm-hmm. So they're truly manipulating him at this point. He's beyond manipulated at this point. Yeah. He's brainwashed. All right. Or what do you think he's processing here? Or is this hitting him like a ton of bricks that his mom did this? Or do you think that he could possibly be a little bit suspicious of Bonnie and Clyde?
Nah, I think it's just immediately because he, like I said, he automatically has been against her. So I think here he's thinking again, she lied to me. Like,
well, Cortland, you make a good point. Not only did he get outsmarted by Tariq, but Ghost and Tasha.
Mm-hmm. I think that's all it is. I think it's just more so as soon as he heard that, I think it's more so like, yo, I can't believe it. But it's also like I knew she was lying. Because
which also shows that Juke was more, I mean, they said it though, Juke was a little bit more, Juke had it together a little bit more than Kanan did. And they showed us that. Unique is back at the crib, admiring himself, and just talking shit when Rock and Lou show up. And boy, he was happy to see Rock. That man showed all 32 when Rock walked up. He was like, that was the moment he was waiting for. Okay. See, like, we need to talk. Okay. Follow me on this. I know you're going to think I'm crazy when I say this. They're going to end up working together. They're going to end up working together. It may not start off as that in the next episode, but I think by the end of the episode, they're going to end up coming together to take out those mafiosos. Just like they did in the season where Rock got shot. They're going to end up coming together because at the end of the day, Neek going to have to get his work from somewhere. Like I said last week, Rock got all the work. Why not work together?
You beat me to the punch. So that's what I was getting from this scene, was that she's coming to call a truce. She's coming to him and like, hey, I saw, I know you've been talking to Kanan. You know what I'm saying? Like, leave Kanan alone. I know you've been hitting the spots. Let's stop all this. I got a whole connect. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I'll get you. You know what I'm saying? We could flood Southside by ourselves. Like, we don't even need them no more. So that's what I figured. Like, she was coming there to call a truce because, like, from the trailer, was just like the same way my family is fair game, yours is too. So I think like she trying to call that truce, but I don't think Unique is gonna go for it. But it probably could. I think just off of what you said, Retro, I think something's gonna happen that's gonna make Unique work with her.
Yeah. Yeah, I think at the end of the day, they're gonna start off opposed against each other. They're not going to leave. They're not going to leave this meeting with an understanding. They're not going to leave this meeting with an agreement. They're going to leave this meeting still at odds with each other. Somewhere, the light switch going to flip. Yeah, and they're going to end up having to work together to take out these mafiosos. I think that Russo may be try to put Unique down. I think Stefano going to try to put Rocknum down. So I think they're going to just band together and get rid of both of them. And Unique gonna get his work from Rock.
Yeah. DeMarcus, no, Kanan wouldn't. He wouldn't get work because
Joaquin has said over and over again he's not supplying drugs in Queens.
Yeah.
So that's
on top of that, he said he's
trying to get work from him.
Yeah. He was like he's not moving heroin either. So yeah, nah, he ain't getting work from them.
All right, next week's episode, Snap and Pop continue their manipulation on Kanan by suggesting that he works with Unique. That'll be a great opportunity for you. I don't know. Kanan doesn't seem to be too receptive to the idea. We'll see. I'm just thinking to myself, man, stop listening to this. This lady wig too tight. Like, listen, stop listening to these folks. Kanan, just leave.
But I'm thinking there. And I'm hoping there in that scene, that's where he starts to click. Like, wait a minute. Yeah, that's
when it started to click that they puppeteering him. They masterminded everything.
It's like, y'all made me work with Ronnie. You know what I'm saying? Now you trying to make me work with his brother. Like, I'm hoping there it clicks. Like, wait a minute, something ain't right about these two.
I hope it does. I pray that it does. Now go on, talk to me about Pranessa, because
okay, so. What I think, she could end up getting unalived because Rock did say to Unique in this episode that, I mean, in the trailer that we saw, my family fair game, your family's fair game. I think it's more so like it's going to be, I'm trying to think, Lou's going to snatch her. And they're going to use Pranessa as leverage I can't because there's no way now sitting here thinking about it, if your theory is like they're gonna work together later on, there's no way Lou was gonna take out or anybody's gonna take out Pernessa and then he's gonna work with them later on. Now, like that's gonna make him go 10 times even worse ballistic, even though he told Pernessa, like, I'm not being unalived again for nobody, you, my child, whatever. But I think here, like, either Lou's gonna press her to scare her, say something to her to try to get back to Unique, or he's gonna snatch her, and that's where they're gonna have like the upper hand and be like, Unique, what you want to do? Like, this is what's gonna happen. Like how you want to do it? We could call the truce, and I can release her, or it could just be even still, or it could just be where Lou try to convince her to tell him again that we had nothing to do with him, you know, being put down by Ronnie, or try to be put down by Ronnie. I don't know, but I kind of feel it more so the way Lou looking, like Lou gonna snatch her up.
Okay, I like that theory. I'm gonna hold on to that one. I agree. They might snatch her up to try to get Unique to listen to reason, heed reason.
Mm-hmm.
Steven, yes, Pops and Snap continue to lie to Kanan and playing him stupid. Yep. I said that last week too. Even the dog was trying to tell them not to trust them. Exactly. Unique should have had Pernessa in full-time security. Agreed.
Nah, he ain't care enough.
Okay, Jay. I said the same thing. I've been arguing with Fresh about this all day.
Yeah, we have.
I have literally been arguing with him about this all day today. We meet Breeze next week. Yeah, we ready. We'll get there. All right, so I agree with that theory. So Unique and his soldiers, I feel like in this scene right here, they're mounting up. They're going to go finish off the rest of Rock's restaurants at this point. Because in the next part of the trailer, you see them throwing the gas bombs at the Golden Pavilion.
Yep.
They're going to burn down Rock's Chinese restaurants. So that's going to force Rock to not now have a place to move her work, which is also tying in the fact that they're going to end up merging like Voltron, like Unique said it earlier in the episode with him and Kanan. They're going to have to end up merging because he don't burn down Rock's restaurant, so she ain't got nowhere to move her work at anyway. I think this is early Tyler. My opinion is this. I think this is early Tyler and his crew, or a crew, shooting at Marvin. Rock was like, we need to hit them first. We need to hit them hard. So Rock is just getting everybody together, mount up for war. This scene right here, I feel like, is this right here. This is what I feel right here. They shoot at Marvin. And I feel like that's early Tyler rolling back up on Marvin to try to put him down.
I don't think it's early Tyler per se trying to put him down. I think it's just, I think that's Neat crew, because if you look right here and go back to right here, that's the exact same, and you see they in Neat spot. Those exact same straps.
Okay.
You come right here to the
I was looking at assault rifles.
Yeah. The exact same strap. So I think it's probably, like you saying, I think it's probably Neat crew trying to hit at Marv, and they probably end up hitting early Tyler instead of Marv, because Marv is quick enough to run
Go to
down
the next
behind
page.
the car.
Go to the other one.
Which one?
The one where Marvin is shooting back. Who's this laying down right here? Is this?
That's why I think that might be early Tyler.
It might be early Tyler. Okay.
Yeah.
Xavier said, "Bye, Marvin." Right, bye, Marvin. Agreed, DeMarcus. Be Real is definitely going to help Lou.
Yeah.
Turn off the lights and light a candle for Marvin. Yep, bye, Marvin. Who Rock here waiting to meet at the diner? Is she waiting to meet Juke or Kanan?
I think
it's gonna be Juke.
I think it's Juke. I've been trying to figure this out because when I saw it, I just couldn't.
It's Juke.
Or I'm thinking this is after she met with somebody because of the straw on her face.
She looks distraught. But is this the part where she found out that, or is this after she's met with somebody? This could be after she's met with Juke, and Juke has told her that they found Krystal put down. And she probably worried about Kanan, like, oh, what is fool gonna do now? That could be. Or it could be her sitting there waiting to meet Kanan to tell Kanan the bad news. about Krystal. Either way, it's either Kanan or Juke that she's waiting for at the diner, because those are the only people that come to that diner.
So, to piggyback off your theory, I think this is afterwards, and I'm thinking it's Juke, and Juke tells her about the whole situation with Krystal, and I'm thinking here, and this might be a little stretch. I'm thinking here, this is where Juke starts to believe that Kanan is right. And this is what has her so distraught. Like, Juke is like, you know what? I don't even know if I can believe you trust her anymore, because like everything that Kanan said is starting to line up, and that's why she looks so distraught.
It's definitely after the fact, because you see the cup that's across from her half drink. So that tells me right there she's met with probably Juke. That's why I don't feel like it's Kanan. I feel like this is Juke that she's meeting with here in this scene right here. And I feel like later on in the episode, Kanan pulls up to the house with her and they have their discussion. He's basically continuing to accuse her. He's probably going to confront her about what Bonnie and Clyde has told him about putting Fame down. This is probably after he's met with Juke and told Juke what Bonnie and Clyde said about her as well.
Yeah.
So this may be what Juke has relayed to her, that Bonnie and Clyde told Kanan that you the one who put Famous down with them dirty cops that you paid off, and Kanan said he saw you give money to the dirty cops. Right. So you might be right about that, Fresh. You might be right about that.
That's right.
All right. So Kanan right here is threatening his mom. I don't know what she's going to say to him to get him to keep him from unaliving her or attempting to unalive him. I think he is going to pull a strap on her. I think he is going to threaten to unalive her, but I don't know how Rock gets out of it. Something she's going to say to appeal to his consideration from going through with it, or he may not be able to go through it himself because his mom, but we'll see. But I hope and pray that is not the case. I am so sick beyond tired of children in the Power Universe unaliving parents. I'm just beyond tired of it.
I don't think he's going to pull up on her with the strap to unalive her. I think he's going to pull up on her to call her out again as a liar, because in the same scene he says, he said, I'm not going to save you no more. I should have done what I should have. Don't quote me word for word, but I remember he said something along the lines, I should have done what I should have done a long time ago. And I'm guessing that's team up with Unica, get out from under her, etc. or whatever.
But I feel like he had already done that. He done that with Ronnie. I feel like he's already done that because he done that when he stepped out on his own when he was selling the weed.
That's true.
Like
but
he's
remember,
always got away from up under Rock.
Yeah, but remember also he wouldn't let Ronnie put Rock down.
Oh, so that could be the I should have done what I should have let. I get where you're going with that.
Yeah, where he was like, I'm not gonna save you no more. So now he like at this point, like if Unique take you out, they take you out. The Snaps and Pop take you out, they take you out. Like I'm not gonna keep stepping interference for anybody who wants to take you out.
Okay, bet. I like that. I think this is the part where he finds out about Krystal.
Yeah,
no longer with us.
Because this you was talking about this ain't last week.
He got the same sweatshirt on, so this is going to be the earlier part of the episode.
Yeah,
because as you see later on in the episode, he has an outfit change. So this must going to be the earlier part of the episode, rolling over from this week.
Yeah,
he's still got the same sweatshirt on he had on this week.
I'm also wondering if this is going to be the episode we finally see him in that screenshot that we seen him at the graveyard.
Could be. Oh, okay. Where Jay at? Jay, this is the scene where we meet Breeze. This is the scene that we meet Breeze. Who else is it? You say it's Unique.
Well,
you say it's Unique.
The only reason, okay, so I'm explaining why I felt and thought it was Unique is because of a screenshot that I've seen where it's Unique, Akbar, and like a couple of the goons standing next to that red car. But then when you said something offline earlier when we had a chat, it hit me like, you know what? they could have just been standing there just to be standing there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they just a part of the, you know, they just standing on the fence, like they security, or they just standing there, you know, just to come in and be there with snaps and pops to welcome like this whole, we about to do this whole thing together. So I don't know. I'm 50-50.
Go back to this scene right here. This scene right here, they're talking about Unique.
Yeah.
They're talking about him merging with Unique right here and there. So I feel like that conversation is addressed already earlier in the episode. I feel like this scene right here is something else that Snap and Pop cooked up. And I don't think it's a correlation with Unique. I think that may have already happened.
You know what? I would not be surprised by that, Xavier.
Then why the era of mystery? If it was Unique, they would have showed us of him being with Unique in the trailer.
I mean,
what is the need to hide the fact that he's with Unique when we've already seen them have discussions about him joining? Like, what's the big reveal for there?
Yeah, that's true. I'm just thinking. I'm thinking of it like this:
how all the silhouette of the person pulling up in the red car. Like, why all the secrecy then if it's Unique?
That's true. I'm just thinking of it like how everybody, when they saw that screenshot, everybody thought that was Marvin unalive and famous. So like they cut it that way to make it look that way. I don't know.
That's like, a Cadillac, not a BMW.
That's not a caddy. Go back and look at them wheels. Like that's some type of Italian. Like if you go back and look at the trailer, like that's like some Italian type. I feel like, I don't know what it is, but like that, I don't think that's a caddy. Because matter of fact, we talking about. Let me think here. 90. That we around this era. I'm trying to think like caddies, especially in. I think that's some type of Italian. Might be a Porsche. I mean, I don't think. Right.
I know it's a little cliche, but another reason why I don't think it's Unique, because this person's wearing a leather jacket and not a fur. Unique wear furs. I ain't never seen Unique in just like a leather coat when he out and about.
Well,
he's had on leather outfits. Yeah. But I ain't just never seen him like in a leather jacket. Usually when Unique stepping out, he got that fur on.
Yeah.
I
don't know. Like I said, I'm just 50-50. But because I just feel
like Breeze. If it's not Breeze, is the reason why I feel like it's Breeze, because it's the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
It is the last episode for the season. What a way to introduce a new character. Because I think by this point in the episode, me personally, by this point in the episode, this is the aftermath of everything that has happened. So I think at this point, we've dropped the Italians. The coalition is in place, or whatever the case may be. This is Snap and Pop introducing him to another player.
Yeah.
This is them weaving their web. Obviously, Snap and Pop survives. So he's not going to figure out that they're involved with the whole Krystal situation. Like we said in the chat, that's not going to be revealed till next season.
Yeah.
So I feel like their manipulation, their hold over Kanan is still here.
Yeah.
It's still there. Right now, he hates his mom. Like you said, I'm not going to protect you no more. So if anybody try to take you out, you're done for. I feel like they are now introducing him to someone else to work with, because now Unique is probably working with Rock again. And Kanan is now independent again.
Yeah.
And he's under control by Bonnie and Clyde, and they are now introducing him to Breeze.
Yeah. It could. Yeah, I
want it to be Breeze just so we can finally meet the character and get it over with. But at the same time, I'm perfectly fine if it's not Breeze either.
Yeah.
But who else would it be at this point?
Yeah. Jay's a gem. The hand is, look at the hand. Everybody inside of the hands is different than the outside. So you can't really go by the inside of the hand.
I ain't gonna lie though. I agree with her though. I was thinking the same thing. The complexion is a little bit lighter than you need.
Like, I get it. But if you looking at the inside of your hand, like, y'all can't see my hands on camera, but like you look at the inside of my hand, it's a whole lot lighter than it's on the backside of my hand. So it's kind of, but Alpha Romero, that's probably what it is. I don't know.
Jay, make sure you come back next week so we can bust his ass out and tell him.
Yeah, if it is, I have no problem. I have no problem saying I was wrong.
I could be wrong though, because I'm telling you, we argue about this for about an hour straight today. I'm not on the Breeze bandwagon. You know, I don't be looking for every character. I be looking at other people's videos and stuff, man. We don't met Breeze 20 times this season. We don't met Breeze 20 times this season. Never mind the fact that a lot of people think Unique is going to be Breeze. Yeah. Let's not forget that. Yep. So I have not been one to say, yeah, that's Breeze. But the fact that they're making such a big secrecy or a big reveal about this character, who else would it be?
I'm gonna do some deep dive, and I'm trying to think who else could it possibly be that.
No, I think we're going to see his face, but I think this is how the episode is going to end.
Yeah,
I think we'll see him. I think we'll hear him be introduced to Kanan as Breeze. It is going to go off. It's going to shoot to the end credits.
Yep.
I think that's what we're going to get left with. I don't think there's going to be much dialogue between the two of them or whatever.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And it looks like they're introducing. Another reason why I feel like it's not Unique. It looks like they're introducing him to someone he's never met before.
That's, I didn't think about that. But then I also thought about it as he's saying, like, hey, we're a team now, like, dap up. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know. Like, but I'm with you though. Like I said, if it's Breeze, thank God, finally we here. We finally get to see him. Because I've been tired of hearing about Breeze since season 3.
So tired of hearing about Breeze.
Like, I'm tired. So if it's him, finally, thank God. Like I said, if it's him.
All right, y'all. As always, we appreciate y'all coming and hanging out with us. As I mentioned earlier, happy Mother's Day to the mothers that are out there. And I hope you guys have an amazing day from the TSF Entertainment family. All right. We'll be back next week. Hopefully stars don't play in our face and they drop them pictures on Monday. They made us wait till Tuesday last week for our picks.
Shoot. They might wait till Thursday.
That's what I said. They might make us wait till Wednesday or Thursday. They like to hold on to those finale episode. They always like to leave us in suspense. But whenever they drop them picks, we're going to drop them in our prediction video and let y'all know what we think is going to happen. We'll be back on our regular schedule next week. I don't know. I kind of like the Saturday night thing. So you never know. We might be doing Saturday night again. But we appreciate you guys showing up. Fresh, you got anything else before we end this episode out?
I'm just ready for the next episode. And like I said, if I'm wrong next week, I have no problem admitting I was wrong. If I'm wrong, I ain't got no problem admitting I was wrong. I've done it before. It's been done plenty of times. I'm just 50-50 right now.
Yeah, I can't put the confidence. I can't put the oomph behind me on this yet. I got to see them pictures for next week. When I see them pictures, then I put that oomph behind me. I don't feel as strongly about this week's predictions as I did with last week. So we got to put that. Oh, hold on a minute. Let me see something real quick. Devastated King.
Because a couple of them for our last prediction video, we was on point. Some of them
I don't know. Reading the episode description, maybe it's possible that Unique and Rock them don't join together like Voltron. We'll see. DeMarcus, we talking about the Shy. We were actually talking about that last week or whatnot. So we'll see if we'll get with the rest of the fellas and see what they're trying to do. Trying to get everybody together. We all live on the four corners. We all live on the four quarters, so trying to get everybody together sometimes is a bit of a challenge, but we'll try to see what we're going to do about the Shy. Get that together for you guys. All right, guys, I agree with you, Jay. It is time at this point. Like, we're going into 5 seasons of Raising Kanan now, and it's time to get Breeze over and done with at this point, so we can roll on into the origins. We also read an article this week, y'all, that we are getting another Power spinoff, but they have not announced any details about if it's going to be a present day show, who the characters are going to be centered around, or if it's going to be another prequel. Given the fact that Origins is going to be a prequel, it would probably be another present day, because this is Force's last season. Book 2 is gone. So we need another present day show Power. We just don't know what characters they're going to spin off with on this, but be on the lookout for those announcements. As we get more details, we'll let y'all know. But they have announced, the Star CEO has announced that we will have another Power.
Atlanta. Kane ran Atlanta.
Come on to Atlanta. Hey, I like that. I like that. I'll go to the casting call for that. I for real will go to the casting call for that. All right, y'all. Well, that is it for us this week. We will see you week.
Sure. See y'all next week.
All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one.